I am so excited today to introduce you to our special guest, Mr. Andy Posner from the Capital Good Fund. We're going to talk about money today. I know that it can be somewhat of a dirty word, but we're going to tackle it head on. I want you to know if you're considering hiring a law firm, what you should know about the cost, how legal fees are set, and what are some really creative options that can help you get your case started. So, gracias por su tiempo. Hoy, bienvenidos. Usted está aquí con la abogada Bennett o abogada B con la programa Immigrants Bridge. Hoy tenemos una persona muy especial. Él es el CEO de un grupo que se llama Capital Good Fund. So, estoy muy alegre para que tenemos Andy aquí con nosotros. Momentito, yo voy a ir en mi página de Facebook. So, welcome everyone. Welcome. Andy, do you want to say hello?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Bridget. It's a pleasure to talk to you again and to join this webinar. I look forward to talking about our work. Just a little bit about me. I'm the founder and CEO of Capital Good Fund. We're a nonprofit lender. We're actually based in Rhode Island, and I live just near Boston. But we lend throughout 5 states, including all of Florida. And yeah, we'll be talking about some of the loans that we do, including for immigration expenses. And then I'll just say that in Spanish. Pues mi nombre es Andy Posner, que soy el director de una organización sin fines de lucro que se llama Capital Good Fund, que nuestra oficina está ubicada en Providence, Rhode Island, y vivo cerca de Boston, pero también ofrecemos préstamos en el estado de la Florida. Y entre los préstamos que ofrecemos son préstamos para cubrir el coste de la ciudadanía y otros asuntos o trámites de inmigración. Así que estoy muy agradecido estar aquí y hablar de lo que hacemos.
Fantastico. Thank you, Andy. So we're going to have an amazing program tonight. I am so excited. So you guys know how I am. I love to see who is on with us tonight. So if you are just joining in, please go ahead and say hello so that we can say hello and see who's on the program. When we're on our computers, we're not really able to see who's on. So the only way I know you're here is if you actually say hello in the comment box. So, como ustedes saben, que me gusta cuando yo puedo saber quién está mirando el programa. So, es difícil para mirar a toda la gente. Pero si usted está aquí con nosotros, por favor, diga, hola, hola, estoy aquí, ¿ok? So, podemos mirar a quién está con nosotros. So, I see Mr. Ramon Polanco. Andy, you probably know Mr. Ramon from our office.
I do.
I see Miss Daphne. I see Attorney Jay. Yes, you did it. I love seeing you on here. I see Lorenzo, mucho gusto, Lorenzo Alvarado. Miss Veronica is here, Pablo Martinez. Hola, Pablo, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo es todo? Hola, Benito, mucho gusto, good to see you. Shaughnessy, nice to see you as well. It's great to see everyone. We are probably going to get started. Andy has a brand new baby, so I don't want to keep him too much.
Not too brand new.
Not
He's
too brand new.
16 months.
Wait, has it been that long?
It's been that long.
Oh my goodness. I remember when he was just born.
It's gone by fast.
Yeah. But toddler, you're in a different zone.
I'm in the thick of it.
Yes. Bueno. So vamos a comenzar. Hello, Arthur, all the way from Boston. Nice to see you again. Hola. So let's get started. Let's talk about money, right? That's the one thing that we hear almost every day when we talk about different cases. So hoy vamos a hablar sobre dinero. Hola, Miss Patty. Hi, Miss Patty. Nice to see you. People are always thinking about, oh my God, I can't afford to start my case. It's too expensive. And people think a lot about money when it comes to starting a relationship with a law firm. And of course, that's normal. People want to know what they're getting into and what value they're receiving for their money. So eso es un gran tópico que yo quiero cobrar. La mayoría de la gente que está interesado en comenzando un caso siempre está diciendo, pues, ¿cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? No tengo dinero, no tengo nada, no puedo comenzar. Esos son solamente somos de los comentos que yo tengo cuando una persona está interesado de comenzar. So, hoy vamos a hablar un poquito sobre dinero y cómo funciona en oficinas de abogados. Hey, Miss Dawn. Hey, Attorney Regina. It's nice to see you. Hey, Miss Rosalva. Hey, Nancy. It's great to see you guys. We are talking money, people. This is what we're talking about today. So, how do attorneys set their fees? ¿Cómo determinar los abogados cuánto cuesta un caso? So, primeramente, first of all, attorneys charge based on their level of expertise and experience on particular cases. So some attorneys that have been practicing for longer, their fees are going to be higher because they have much more experience than someone else. So, primer punto es cómo determinar los abogados sus trámites. So, un factor es la experiencia con ciertos tipos de casos. So, una persona que tiene más experiencia, obviamente ellos van a costar poquito más dinero, ¿ok? The other thing that attorneys consider is the reputation of their firm. So maybe the firm you've contacted is very well known for what they do. So reputación es algo que considerar los abogados cuando ellos están pensando cuánto cuesta un caso. So si usted está con un bufete de abogados que tiene mucha experiencia y buena reputación en la comunidad, entonces los trámites va a ser más caro. The other thing that attorneys take into consideration is the time. How much time am I going to dedicate to this type of case? So if your case is very complicated, it's obviously going to take a lot more time than something that might be considered a very simple option. So the more time your case is going to take, the more expensive your case will be. So número 3 es el tiempo. ¿Cuánto tiempo, cuántas horas es necesario para completar su caso? So si tiene más tiempo para completar el caso, entonces su caso va a ser más caro. So, tiempo es un punto que es, los abogados consideran mucho en determinando cuánto cuesta su caso. Y también ellos están pensando en cómo complicado es su caso. So, hay casos que es muy, muy complicado y necesita más tiempo, más resources. So, si su caso es muy más complicado, entonces los trámites va a ser más. So, por ejemplo, si usted tiene un caso en la Corte de Inmigración o ya tiene un caso de un orden de deportación, su caso definitivamente va a ser más caro. So, finally, in addition to the other 3 factors, attorneys are thinking about how complicated is this case. So, the more complicated a case, the more the case is going to cost. So, for example, in the world of immigration, if someone is in removal proceedings and they have to go to immigration court, those cases are going to be much more costly because an attorney has to go to court, has to prepare, and that kind of thing. If you already have a deportation order that we have to reopen, that's also going to have an effect on your case. Now, let's talk about the second point. There are 2 different types. There are actually more than 2 different types of fees, but for time purposes, I'm just going to talk about 2, hourly versus fixed. So, hay varios tipos de trámites de inmigración, pero por el tiempo solamente voy a hablar sobre 2. Hay abogados que simplemente tienen un contrato por el tiempo. So, si ellos trabajan 40 horas, ellos van a dar un trámite por 40 horas. Otros abogados tiene trámites fixed? Andy, you might have to help me out here.
Fijos.
Yeah. ¿Cómo se dice?
Fijos.
Fijos. So, cuando firma su contrato, usted sabe exactamente cuánto va a costar el caso. So, en mi oficina, preferimos a usar trámites fijados. Did I say it right?
Fijos.
So, normalmente la gente sabe aproximadamente cuánto va a costar el caso. Hay algunas veces que yo tengo que usar horas porque los casos son mucho más complicados. So in our office, we prefer to use fixed fees versus hourly. So the majority of the cases in our office, a person signing the contract, they will know ahead of time how much this case is going to cost. That's because over time, we've determined how long that case should take, and we can make an educated guess as to how much we should charge for that case. There are some cases that we do hourly. So in our Orlando office, where we do a lot of business cases, we do hourly work. If we're working on an RFE, we'll do hourly as well. But we generally prefer to use the fixed fee model. So before I turn it over to Andy, I just want to point out a few things. So antes de comenzar con Andy, yo quiero dice algunas cosas. Number one, when you are thinking about hiring an attorney and the cost associated with achieving the goal that you want, there are a couple things to keep in mind. So number one, there is no standard fee. If you go to 10 different offices, you're probably going to get 10 different fees. So there is no one standard fee. Like I said before, there is a lot of things that an attorney considers when determining their fee. Number two, cheap isn't necessarily good. Okay. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Okay. And that's just the truth. We've had to play fix it for a lot of people that went with a cheaper option that ended up with not the result that they wanted. But number three is that expensive isn't necessarily better. So just because an attorney charges a whole lot more than everybody else doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a better service. So you really have to think about the attorney office that you're working with to see whether it's a good fit for you. So los tres puntos, cuando usted está considerando comenzando un caso y está pensando de los trámites del bufete. Número uno, no hay un trámite normal, sobre todo la oficina de abogados. So, cada oficina es diferente. Número dos, que lo más barato no es necesariamente lo mejor. Ustedes saben, normalmente recibe lo que usted paga. So, si usted está decidiendo entre dos bufetes, tiene que pensar, ok, esa persona dice que 5,000, pero la otra persona dice que 1,000. Quizás algo no es bueno, right? Pero número tres, lo más caro no necesariamente es el mejor opción tampoco. So usted tiene que pensar muy bien en los trámites de los abogados y determinar qué oficina es mejor por usted y su familia. Okay, so Mercedes is here. Hey, Mercedes. Miss Carol is here. It's nice to see you. Lynn, Maria, Natalie. Hey, Nat, how are you? Venoria from New Jersey. Natalie from Maryland. Great to see you, everyone. So I am now going to turn it over to Andy. I met Andy several years ago, and it has been a really great relationship. So Andy, since we now have a lot more people on the line, would you like to introduce yourself again?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. So I apologize for my shaggy appearance. We've been in quarantine in Massachusetts here for quite a while. But I'm Andy Posner. I'm the founder and CEO of Capital Good Fund. We are a nonprofit lender that's based in Rhode Island, and we lend in a number of states, including Florida, but also it's worth noting we lend in Massachusetts, Illinois, Delaware, and Rhode Island as well. And we do a number of types of loans. One of those is our immigration loan, which of course will be a focus of this conversation. And that goes from $300 to $20,000. But we also do loans for things like vehicle purchase, repair, or finance, security deposits, emergencies, things like that. And then I'll do it in Spanish. So, es un placer estar aquí con ustedes. Mi nombre es Andy Posner. Soy el director y fundador de una organización sin fines de lucro que está ubicada en Providence, Rhode Island. Y hacemos pequeños préstamos en 5 estados. Y los estados son la Florida, Rhode Island, Delaware, Massachusetts y Illinois. Y los préstamos que ofrecemos van de $300 a $25,000 y se suelen utilizar para varias cosas, entre ellas pagar los trámites de inmigración, comprar o refinanciar un auto, pagar un depósito para un apartamento, pagar una emergencia, cosas así.
Okay, so gracias, Andy. Thank you, Andy. So, why did you start this nonprofit organization called Capital Good Fund, and how did it get its name? So, ¿por qué usted comienza esa organización que se llama Capital Good Fund? ¿Por qué?
I was getting a master's degree at Brown in 2007, 2008 when the financial system collapsed. And so I started looking at trying to figure out why a bunch of banks going under was having so much of an impact on low-income communities. And as I started to speak to people in the community, particularly there's a large Dominican population in Providence, I kept hearing about how people couldn't access bank accounts, how they were taking out really high interest loans, they had bad credit. And so then I realized that there was no one offering equitable alternatives to like a payday loan, which if you're familiar with it has in Florida has a 278% interest rate. So it started from the point of view of offering an alternative to these types of products, and then it evolved over the years. And as far as the name, I was thinking about, okay, well, we're going to be lending, we're in the business of deploying capital, but we're a loan fund and trying to do good. So Capital Good Fund.
I like it.
Así que sí, en cuanto a por qué comencé la organización, pues en el 2007, 2008, estaba haciendo una maestría en Brown University. Y bueno, como saben ustedes, en aquel momento la economía estaba fallando. Y entonces me puse a intentar entender por qué es que cuando los bancos fracasaban, esto tenía un impacto tan fuerte sobre las vidas de la gente de bajos ingresos. Entonces, comencé a hablar con la gente dominicana en Providence, en la comunidad, y comencé a aprender sobre los préstamos depredadores, predatory, ¿no? Por ejemplo, los prestamistas de día de pago, los payday lenders, que cobran en la Florida 278% anual. Y me di cuenta de que no hay nadie que ofrezca o que en aquel momento ofrecía una alternativa. Entonces decidí fundar una organización que ofrecería una alternativa.
Fantástico. So, ¿en qué año comienza esa organización?
La fundé en el 2009. We started in 2009.
Okay, great. And since 2009, how many immigrant loans have you been able to fund? So, la compañía comienza desde 2009. So, mi pregunta es, ¿cuánto inmigrantes usted podría ayudar con su programa para comenzar los casos de inmigración?
So actually, it's a really good question because today we just financed our 5,000th loan, not immigration, for across the board. Immigration, it's probably been about 330 loans. over the years. The first loan we did on April 1, 2009 was for citizenship.
Ah, wow.
Así que acabamos hoy, otorgamos el préstamo número 5,000. En cuanto a los préstamos de inmigración, hemos hecho como 350 por ahí. Y el primer préstamo que hicimos en el primer día de abril de 2009 fue para la ciudadanía. Así que...
Fantastico, fantastico. So, can you tell us, we know that you operate in 5 states, but let's kind of focus if someone is here in Florida and they would like to get started with an immigration case, for example, let's say citizenship, and they don't have all the cash that the law firm is asking for the case. Can you tell us how would a person qualify to get one of the loans to help them finance their citizenship case? So, la pregunta es, si, por ejemplo, una persona en Florida quiere hacer ciudadanía y ellos no tienen los trámites por el bufete de abogados, ¿cómo ellos pueden cualificar por un loan, un préstamo?
¿Préstamo?
Un préstamo del Capital Good Fund.
Yeah. So first of all, you can reside anywhere in the state of Florida, and the whole process can be done online. The first thing is we require that you work with an immigration attorney, such as Bennett Law, or a nonprofit with a BIA accredited rep, and we vet any attorney. We don't want people to get screwed over by working with an unreputable firm. So the first thing is we get a referral form from our partner. And then we look at 3 things. The first one is we do what's called an ability to pay test. So we want to make sure that the loan fits within the budget of the applicant. The second thing is, because we don't require that someone have credit, or we don't have a minimum credit score requirement, we try to focus on something else, which is banking history. So it's really important to have an active bank account when you're applying for a loan with Capital Good Fund. We do look at credit, and that certainly is a factor, but we know that a lot of the people that come to us do so because they don't have good credit, or they don't have enough income to have several $1,000s saved up. So we're going to make sure you can afford the loan. We're going to look at those bank statements to make sure that you tend to have enough money in the account to cover the payment. And then, from there, it's fairly simple. Like, aside from that, the loans, like I said, they go up to $20,000, and they have a 4-year term. We report 3 credit bureaus, so you build your credit while you're making the payments. There's no prepayment penalty, application fee, closing fee, anything like that. And the funds go directly to the attorney, both for the USCIS fees and the attorney's fees.
And that's super important. Thank you. That these loans actually cover the filing fees as well. So we know that some filing fees, especially if you're doing it for a family, can even be more than the cost of the legal fees, to be quite honest, for certain types of cases. So that's fantastic.
All right. Ahora en español, es un poco largo. Así que primero quiero aclarar que si no importa en qué parte de la Florida vivas, puede ser en Orlando o en Miami, no importa. Y el proceso entero se puede hacer en internet, sin tener que ir a una oficina. Y también en inglés y español. Y otra cosa es que nosotros requeremos que trabajes con un abogado o con un non-profit BIA accredited. Y nosotros también evaluamos el abogado antes de hacer un préstamo con él o ella, o la compañía, porque es muy importante proteger al cliente, ¿no? Entonces, Bennett es uno de nuestros partners en ese sentido. Ok, entonces, en cuanto a cómo evaluamos la aplicación, la primera cosa es que hacemos lo que se llama ability to pay. O sea que intentamos ver si pensamos que el pago mensual del préstamo cabe en tu presupuesto. La segunda cosa es, Debido a que nosotros no le echamos mucho caso al reporte de crédito o el puntaje de crédito, basamos la decisión en gran parte en los estados de cuenta bancaria. O sea que es necesario tener una cuenta bancaria y es importante mantener un saldo mayor que el pago mensual del préstamo.
Ujú.
También echamos un vistazo al crédito porque, claro, es posible tener $1,000 en la cuenta bancaria, pero nunca pagar nada porque no te apetece, ¿no? Entonces, pero esa es una cosa que tomamos en cuenta y últimamente, pues, es importante saber que nosotros pagamos el 100% de todos los costes. Es decir, lo que cobra el abogado, también lo que cobra el gobierno, y si hay otras cosas que se tienen que pagar, por ejemplo, no sé, biometrics o papeles, algo así, también eso, todo se puede incluir en el préstamo.
Sí, y eso, como estaba explicando, que es muy importante porque los trámites de inmigración también son muy caros. So, es un gran beneficio que ese programa puede pagar los abogados y también inmigración, los trámites de inmigración. Do we have any questions for either myself or Andy? Hay preguntas de por yo o Andy. I see a lot of people saying some nice things, Andy.
Oh,
Wow,
thank you.
that's really nice. That's great. Thank you so much for that fantastic thought towards the immigrant community. I see a couple of attorneys on. Hey, Sasha, great to see you. I see Andrea here. Miss Andrea is an amazing she writes she's a mental health provider that we work with quite a bit. My Aunt Susie, all the way from California. Crystal, Ray San Fratello here locally. Hey, Ray, it's nice to see you. Nieves out in Jacksonville. So if you guys have questions, please let us know. Questions about how attorneys make their fees, questions about Capital Good Fund, who qualifies, anything that you have, please definitely let us know. We are happy to answer. So
I see. Arthur asked where our office is located in Massachusetts. So yeah, as I was saying, we actually don't have a physical office in a lot of our states. In fact, Massachusetts, we don't have one. We do have a loan officer in Sarasota and also in Opelika in Miami, but really it's all online. Like we don't see loan clients in person except sometimes in Providence, and that's just because we do so many loans, it's not really practical.
So, una pregunta que yo tengo es, ¿cuánto tiempo es el proceso para obtener su préstamo? How long is the process to obtaining one of your immigration loans?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure the ideal number I'm going to tell you, and then I'm sure the reality is more complicated. I don't do loans anymore. So once we get a complete application, we guarantee a decision in 2 days. A complete application means that we got the referral form from Bennett or a different law firm. We got our online application. And Bridget, could you type in the link to our website on the, yeah. And then your 3 most recent bank statements. So once we have those 3 things, then we guarantee a decision within 2 business days. If we don't have any additional questions, then and you're pre-approved, then we'll just ask typically for proof of ID, proof of income or something like that, and then we electronically sign the closing documents and we fund the attorney. So it can happen as quickly as 2 days. I think that often our loan underwriters have some questions, and so it might take a little bit longer, but we try to be very responsive. And yeah, that's the link. So lo que decía es que en cuanto a el proceso, pues garantizamos una decisión dentro de 2 días, pero eso es después de recibir una solicitud completa, lo cual quiere decir que hemos recibido 3 cosas. La solicitud en sí, que está en nuestra página web, que escribí. La segunda cosa es un referido de un abogado, tal como Bennett, y ellos nos mandan a nosotros el referido. Y la tercera cosa es que nosotros tenemos que recibir los 3 estados de cuenta bancaria. Después de tener estas 3 cosas, pues, como he dicho, tardamos 2 días en devolver una decisión. Y entonces, pues si todo está aprobado, le mandamos al cliente un email con un enlace para firmar el contrato y ya.
Okay. So, otra cosa que yo ver en su website es que usted tiene 9 préstamos por el virus. ¿Usted puede explicar eso por un rato? So, I was just saying that I've noticed on um, the Capital Good website, they have a new fund, kind of a disaster relief. So, Andy will talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, happy to. So this is something we rolled out about a month ago. We call it the Crisis Relief Loan. And, it's similar to some of the existing products we have, but there are a couple of features that are unique for this, unprecedented moment. So it ranges from $300 to $1,500. And it can be used for pretty much anything. We've already done 140, and people are using them for rent, for food, for utilities, for bills, all sorts of things like that. The interest rate is just 5%. There's a 3-month deferment period, so you don't make any payments for the first 3 months, and then after that, it's 12 monthly payments. And we're also evaluating the application based on your income before the crisis. So yeah, it's designed to help people with their cash flow in this difficult time. So, el préstamo que acabamos de lanzar, que se llama el préstamo de alivio de crisis, o por lo menos lo hemos traducido así. Y está diseñado para ayudarle a la gente que ha sido afectada por el virus. Entonces, se puede utilizar para casi cualquier cosa. Va de $300 a $1,500. Y nuestros prestatarios han utilizado el dinero para la renta, la comida, los biles, o sea, cosas así, cosas básicas. La tasa de interés es 5%. El término es 15 meses, pero no hay pagos durante los primeros 3 meses porque, claro, la gente va a tardar tiempo en volver a poder trabajar y hacer los pagos. Y también evaluamos la solicitud basándonos en los ingresos de antes del virus, o sea, alrededor de febrero. Así que ya hemos hecho casi 140 préstamos de alivio de crisis y estamos preparados para hacer muchos más.
Wow, that is fantastic. Eso es fantástico. Hay gran beneficio por la gente. Gracias. That's a great option for people to have something, in this time. So that is a great option. The link is within the comments. I do see one question. Welcome, Miss Christine Sampson out in Tampa doing awesome, amazing things. Miss Myrna is on. I see Tiffany is here. Attorney Ryan from out in New York. It's nice to see you. So Christine has a question. A person would need 3 bank statements as part of the qualification. What if you're out of status and you don't have a bank account? What options are there? Can you have a co-applicant in those cases? So la pregunta es básicamente si ellos necesitan 3
estados de cuenta.
Yeah, de cuenta. Si ellos no tienen estatus y no tienen cuentas de banco, ¿cómo ellos pueden aplicar? ¿Hay otras opciones? ¿Puede usar un co-sponsor o co-applicant?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I recognize that, it is true that if someone doesn't have a bank account, they can't get a loan except for, so there are a couple things I can suggest here. The first one is you can have a bank account with an ITIN.
Mm-hmm.
Many of our clients are undocumented and they have bank accounts. So that's the first thing. The second one is that there are some prepaid cards we can accept. The problem is that when people make loan payments to us, we automatically pull it from their bank account. That way it doesn't cost us anything and it's a lot simpler for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Most prepaid cards do not allow that, and so we can't accept it. There are about 5 and they're listed on our website. So if you don't have a bank account and you don't have a prepaid card, you can have a co-applicant who does have an account, and that's absolutely fine, and we do that all the time. Así que si alguien no tiene cuenta bancaria, pues 4 cosas. La primera cosa es importante tener en cuenta que sí es posible abrir una cuenta bancaria con un ITIN. Y tenemos muchos clientes que están en esa posición. La segunda cosa es que si no tienes una cuenta bancaria, puedes tener una tarjeta prepagada. Lo que pasa es que solamente hay como 5 tarjetas que aceptan, porque nosotros cuando procesamos los pagos mensuales, los sacamos automáticamente de la cuenta del prestatario. Y muy pocas tarjetas permiten eso. Así que si no tienes cuenta bancaria y no tienes una de esas tarjetas, y la lista de las que aceptamos está en nuestra página web, la otra opción es pedir un coaplicante, una persona que sí tenga una cuenta bancaria, y entonces podemos procesar la solicitud así.
Great, great. Does anyone have any other questions? We are coming up to the end of the program, but I would definitely love to answer. We have this amazing person here, Andy, that's just doing great things for the immigrant community. So maybe you got on this call thinking, I know I need to do my case, but I don't have the money. There are people out there and organizations, nonprofit organizations, so you know they're not trying to rob you and they're not disreputable, that are here to help. So lo que estoy diciendo es que si ustedes tienen otras preguntas, estamos muy bendecidas para tener Andy del Capital Good Fund para hablar con nosotros. Hay mucha gente que quiere comenzar un caso, pero ellos no tienen el dinero y eso es la única razón que ellos no comienzan un caso. So, eso es definitivamente una bendición para tener una organización que no es por profit y tiene buena reputación para ayudar específicamente a los inmigrantes. So, si tiene preguntas por nosotros, ahora es el tiempo, porque yo tengo hambre, okay? So I gotta eat too.
I would just say that anytime you're borrowing money that's not from a bank or credit union, be very careful. Si estás pidiendo prestado dinero y no es de un banco o una unión crediticia, hay que tener muchísimo cuidado, porque hay muchas empresas que cobran tasas de interés súper altas y que se aprovechan de la gente.
Mm-hmm. We did get a couple of questions that came in. One question is, when you're filing, is it best to use an attorney or can the filing be done on your own? This is probably one of my favorite questions. My question is, when your car is broken, is it best to get a mechanic or is it best to watch a Google video and try to do it on your own? That's kind of the approach that I take. I'm an attorney. I specialize in immigration, but I can tell you that when I need a contract done or when I had my will prepared, I went to an expert that knew what they were doing. So the point of having an attorney is to have someone that has the knowledge that can give you what you need. It's the same thing. When you're sick, do you want to go to the doctor or the hospital? It's kind of, well, if you want to get the help you need, you probably need a professional. So, una pregunta. Hello, Rebecca. It's nice to see you from South Florida, another amazing immigration attorney. Hey, Miss Claudette, Miss Carol, Neil is here. It's nice to see you, Neil. La pregunta es, si es necesario para usar un abogado o una abogada. The question is it necessary to use an attorney or not? Probably one of my favorite questions. So mi respuesta es, si usted tiene un coche que está roto, si es mejor para arregla, solo o ir a un mecánico. So, la razón para tener un abogado es por la expertise de la persona. Si usted tiene problemas de salud, no es que usted puede resolver, tiene que ir al doctor si es algo serio. So, es la expertise. So, en mi opinión profesional, si necesarios servicios de abogados, es buena idea. So that was a great question. Hey, Miss Jennifer. And a last question for the night. Can an employer sponsor a worker? The answer is yes, but it depends. The classic attorney answer, right? So there are certain applications that an employer can make, but they are very, very heavily regulated. There are lots of different programs. So the answer is yes, but it depends on the circumstances. La pregunta es si hay un patrón, puede pedir un empleo. Y la respuesta es sí, pero depende. Hay varias visas, programas que es disponible, pero hay muchas cosas que tengo que saber para saber, si hay una posibilidad o no. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to the Immigrants Bridge Show with Attorney B and special guest Andy Posner from the Capital Good Fund. So if you wanted to learn more about how law firms determine their fees, what are the things you should consider when evaluating an attorney's office in terms of the fees that they're costing, we talked about all of that today. And we also talked about Capital Good Fund and the loan options that are offered throughout 5 different states, one of which is Florida, that Andy's nonprofit is able to offer. So if you missed any portion of this show, you can always go back and watch the replay. And we do ask you, please go ahead and like us on Facebook, also like Capital Good Fund, and keep following us for great information. We always promise to give you timely and accurate information and to answer any questions that you have. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, from my girl studio. It's called Girl Cave Studios. And we will continue to bring on other special guests. Pero yo quiero decir gracias por su tiempo hoy. Es un placer para dar a usted información recién, información correcto, información que puede ayudar en sus decisiones. Yo sé que dinero no es fácil para, agarrar dinero para pagar un trámite de abogados, pero hay varias opciones si usted quiere comenzar un caso. So, en ese programa hablamos de cómo determinar los trámites, los abogados, y qué cosas usted puede pensar cuando usted decidiendo usar un bufete de abogados. So, si usted acabó de ir a ese programa, usted puede escuchar del principio otro día, pero toda la información está aquí. También estamos aquí con Andy Posner del Capital Good Fund. Es un programa muy, muy bien. Estamos trabajando con él por más de 2 años. Imagino que es más de 2 años. Y es un gran beneficio a los clientes al Bennett Law Center. So, estoy muy agradecido a Andy para su tiempo hoy con nosotros.
Ha sido un placer.
Gracias. So, como siempre, like our Facebook page y también Capital Good Fund. Y pienso que usted tiene Instagram también, ¿no?
Yes.
Insta?
Sí.
Okay. So you can look us up on both Facebook and Instagram para tener información muy bueno. Y definitivamente gracias por sus tiempos y nos vemos mañana.
Ciao. Stay safe, everyone.
All right. Cuídate.